Hey guys, it's Lindsay. We are doing a deep dive on Virgo. Now, this is the 2026 deep dive. I did do a deep dive on Virgo that may have already gone into 2026 a little bit. I can't quite remember, but if you want to watch that one too, it should be on the playlist. But this is the full and complete 2026 deep dive for Virgo. And we are using the Wisdom Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. As always, if any of these messages don't pertain to you, please take only what you need and leave the rest. You are the writer of your own story. This is a group message. You must recognize where the message needs edits. You are being guided in 2026 by a higher power, Virgo. There's a lot of spiritual energy coming in for you. A lot blessed. It's almost like this is very strange because you are an earth sign. Excuse me, it's very dry. You are an earth sign, so I expect you to be grounded. But 2026 has you up in the spirit realm, doing a lot of spiritual work. And I feel like you've already done a lot of spiritual work, but you're really going deeper than you ever have before. Yes, come to the edge. You're vaulting off into the spirit realm. You're studying a lot of different things to do with spirituality. You are attracted to a lot of different things to do with spirituality. Not necessarily religion, maybe some religions, because they interest you, but spirituality and higher calling and higher consciousness and things outside of this physical realm, which is the antithesis to who you are, Virgo, because you are a physical being. And it's so interesting to me that this is where it's coming from. It's almost like it says come to the edge, the card, but it's almost like dancing to the edge. Time to go. You are dancing to the edge. I also see you practicing a lot of dream work. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're someone who is interested in astral projection, or you're someone who is interested in dream travel, dream messages, receiving messages in your dreams, maybe a little bit of like remote viewing, I'm hearing. So that's when you kind of get yourself into almost a meditative or a sleep-like state, and you are able to view actual physical places, people, or things, or gain insight upon them. So this is kind of, it's almost like you're spending a lot of time out of your body through the act of meditation. And I do want to caution you, as always, like, you have to live in this world. And be careful about using the act of meditation as an escape, right? Because sometimes, even though medication, I said medication. That's interesting. I'm going to get back to that. Even though meditation on the face value is supposed to generally get us more connected to ourselves, sometimes it can be used as a way of escaping. Okay? As anything can be, right? And the other thing that's coming through for somebody very specific is either getting off medication or changing medication, and this is specifically around psychological medication. So I just also want to caution, I'm not a doctor, but if you are doing any of these things, please, obviously trust your intuition and speak to your doctor, and make sure, people are around you, people know what you're doing, because this is the other thing. If you're escaping through your mind and you're medicating or you're unmedicating yourself, there are very deep cellular and energetic changes happening in your mind, right? So reality can become skewed from your point of view. So it's good to have people around you who can ground you back into your body, which is not something I thought I would ever say to Virgo, but here we are. You need to make sure 2026 that you are in your body and not out of your body, right? As you're diving into these. I also see you studying the spirituality. As I said, you're going to be doing a lot of studying. I see you collecting books and really learning about all different types of studying around spirituality. There's also this mending thing. So if you see, it's two little girls with a flag between them. There was a break for some of you, some of you during childhood. Okay? And to me, the way it's coming through is like either a mental break, a mental fog, something where you don't either have your memories or the memories that you have are skewed, or something around your memories. And I think a lot of this spirituality driven stuff that you're following in 2026 is to reconnect with your childhood self, but not just reconnect with your childhood self, to actually actively remember your memories. So I see you almost, I don't usually recommend things, but finding someone who is certified, you have to get a certification for hypnosis. And I do believe most often that is somebody who has to be like, if I am recalling this correctly, someone who has to be a licensed mental therapist. They also get a certification in hypnosis therapy. So I think that may be something that you may be interested in looking for, especially if you're doing like memory retrieval stuff. Virgo in 2026 is to find a very safe and comforting environment and someone who knows what they're doing around the act of hypnosis, and who would be able to help you kind of tread into those memories that you're trying to receive. Because also the other thing is, yeah, we're all around the head thinker. You need to find someone who can hold space for you when you start to open up those memories, because some of those memories are going to be either really jarring or unexpected. And even if they're good memories, it's almost like you don't know how to handle the disconnect of why you didn't remember them, right? Okay, so you need to have someone who knows how to hold a container for that type of therapy and knows how to do that well, okay? Hypnotism. And I'm not talking about like going on YouTube and doing hypnotism, like not doing, this is not something, especially if you're doing a lot of mind work and if you are working with medications and things like that. It's something that you should be doing in a professional environment is what I'm hearing for you, Virgo. It has to be in a professional environment, okay? I mean, you can do it on YouTube, but it's like flying by the seat of your pants and you don't know exactly what you're going to get, right? So this is a year of regeneration for you, because you're taking what you lost in your childhood, what you lost along the way, and what you want to learn about, which is spirituality, and you're using it to amplify your regeneration, which is going to be more of like a 2027 message. This is the year of learning about yourself through spirituality, learning about yourself through connecting with your inner child in a deeper way than you ever have before. There's also something, so you have the exchanging gifts. There's also something with sharing gifts in community, but specifically sharing spiritual gifts in community. So the way that I'm going to set this up and say this is, so I read tarot, right? I have friends who read tarot. I also have friends who are numerologists. I have friends who are hypnotists. I have friends who are artists or channelers and who speak light language. I have many different friends who do many different interesting things. And what I will often do with them is say, would you like to have a little call? And we get on our little video chat and I'll read cards for them free of charge. And they will exchange with whatever kind of, maybe they're energy healers, maybe they know Reiki, maybe they know breath work, right? So maybe they exchange a prayer with me. That's what I'm seeing for you, Virgo, is connecting with all those different people in your life. And even if you're not around them, be like, hey, I thought of you. I would love to share my gift, whatever your gift is. Say you teach yoga. Share that gift. Share that milk and honey. Spread it around. Spread the sweetness. Don't just keep the spirituality and the learning to yourself. Share it with others. You know, like, hey, I'd love to hop on a call with you. Everybody's been doing Zoom. We do remote work. We do all this. Why can't you do remote fun things? Why can't you connect in that way? Right? Why can't you exchange your gifts? Because this is where you're going to get a leg up, Virgo, 2026 into 2027. You actively not only exploring your spirituality and educating yourself on that and reconnecting with your childhood, what is actively going to give you a leg up is the exchanging of the gifts, is remaking connections with people that you've connected with in the past and reaching out and saying, I would love to offer you something. I don't know if you do something. Would you like to do an energetic exchange? I used to do these all the time. I still do. I used to do them with people I didn't even know, barely even knew, right? One time I did an energetic exchange with a girl who was all the way in Hawaii. I was like, hey, I thought you were pretty cool. I see we're on the same group. We're on the same chat group. I'm really interested in what you do. I can offer this if you want to do a little energetic exchange. Cool. I've done energetic exchanges with people halfway around the world. Not everything requires a monetary exchange, and most people would be interested. If you have a gift, like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds fun. That sounds interesting. Okay. You're both benefiting. And then they know to share. They're like, say, I have a friend who does yoga. They're going to share that with all the people they know. You're going to share whatever they do with all the people you know. This is how light travels, right? It's through this type of exchange. It's very important. This is how you're going to get your leg up in 2026, is that you need to do these energy exchanges, Virgo. Listen to me. Listen to your resident psychic, your resident intuitive, and make sure it's a fair exchange, right? To be fair. Okay? You want a fair and equal exchange. Anything else? Anything specific? I'm also hearing Cry Me a River. Why am I hearing that song? That's a little weird. As we get the happy, happy card. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's this other thing. I think in some ways you are pursuing higher knowing and spirituality so much. And there's also this inherent expectation you have that you should be finding joy in it. You should be. And I know you know this consciously, but in your body you don't. It feels like you're not recognizing that. It's like, this journey is going to be happy. It's going to make me into a brand new and best version of myself. But then you also have this other side of you that you're like crying. and you're struggling, and say whatever, maybe you go and get your hypnosis, maybe you get them, and you're not allowing the integration of those feelings to happen because you're on your spiritual journey. Everything's light, everything's happy. So I'm just going to say, hey, if you need to cry, cry. Let it come out of your body. Let it do what it needs to do. Don't have the expectation that you need to be and or you should be happy all the time on this journey, because that's not a real spiritual journey. A real spiritual journey, you're going to struggle. That's just the way of things. It's how you grow. Yes, be happy. Be open to happiness. Be open to joy. But also don't be closed off to the very real feelings of sadness and anger and, the feeling of lack or whatever. Let it move through you, okay? Recognize it and let it move through you. That's a big one for 2026. Anything else for Virgo before we... I'm hearing for crying out loud. So maybe you need to you need to sob. You just need to let it go. Let it cry. Let the tears out. Full body racking sobs. It needs to go through your body. And you're also building something around home, building some new home. Okay, 2026. So it's a lot to take on, I think. I think it's a lot to take on, Virgo. So pace yourself. You're doing a lot in 2026. Pace yourself, show up for yourself, ground yourself, and know that you don't always have to put on the happy face. But what you do need to do is get out there and start exchanging your gifts with the world. That's what I see for your 2026, Virgo. Thank you so much for sitting with me. My name is Lindsey Rose. This is Storyteller Tarot. If you would like your own personal reading, please check out the links in bio. Otherwise, I wish you guys well.